Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tech News Weekly. I'm Andrew Zarin. Of course, I'm joined by John Bubb, also known as Suncast on Twitter, as I am each and every week. How you doing, John?
Hey Andrew, what's up?
The one and only Suncast.
You're Suncast.
I'm a Suncast. All of us are Suncast here at the GFQ Network. Before the show, we were fiddling around with some changes we're going to be doing here. We are working on new lower thirds. We're working on new graphics.
We're trying to do some rebranding and stuff.
And we're facing this huge battle with the Skype shows. And I'll show you what's going on. If I go to John here and I take the lower third off, you see this little preview button on the side. Tiny little
Don't
preview.
tell everybody.
So we need that to go away somehow. And if you know a way to make it go away, let us know. You can send us an email at guysfromqueens@gmail.com to kind of help us out with this idea. We need it to disappear. So I don't know if we could kind of hack Skype to do that. And I'm positive, John, that before that used to disappear, right, in the old version?
I think they moved it in a different place, or they had an option where it didn't have to be on there.
It didn't have to be on there. That's exactly what it was. So we're fiddling around. We're doing a lot of changes here. If you have any kind of suggestions for us, send us an email. We're always looking to listen to you guys. How was your week, John? Did you have a good week?
No.
Never. Never.
Not as long as I'm a part of the GFQ.
No. It's always, it's never like, cruising here at the GFQ network. It's always like either 0, we got nothing going on, or it's like 120, and I'm like, John, we need this now, and we need to get it up, or like there's a disaster happening. It's a whole thing here. So,
or you just tell me a whole bunch of lies and then nothing ever happens.
And nothing ever happens. I just make stuff up. That's how it works. That's how businesses are ran here in America. I'm waiting for my pick of the week. My monitor died, and it's interesting. These monitors behind me when I'm doing the show, these are probably 10 years old. They're these older NECs, probably from 2004. And I paid about $800 a piece, and these things are absolutely perfect. I have an HP monitor that I've been using for like 4 years. The thing just totally died. So I bought an IPS monitor. I'm switching out some stuff, and it's not here yet. So we'll find out if that'll be my pick of the week this week. If not, I got a secondary pick here. John doesn't have a pick. Maybe he'll have something by the end of the show.
I have a couple of ideas. It's just, I don't know.
All right. So I want to go into the first story here. And Netflix was in the news this week because they're possibly raising the price for new customers. We don't know when it's happening. They haven't announced when it is. Maybe it's going to be $1, maybe $2. It's not going to be this huge, drastic increase. There's about 48 million customers right now on Netflix, about 37.5 million in the U.S. currently. And this is fascinating, John, because you remember about 2 years ago, Netflix got so much crap. I mean, when they killed the DVD business.
Oh, yeah.
They had announced that they were splitting the brands. It was going to be a different name. It was this entire... I mean, they did everything possibly wrong that they could have. And now they've kind of redeemed it.
It was a PR nightmare.
Totally, but you know what? 24 months later, they've kind of redeemed themselves here, and they're still number one. They're still going strong. The service is phenomenal. They're adding new content all the time. I know you personally have issues accessing Netflix.
Yeah, and this is a whole funny story, this whole Netflix and everybody else type of deal where even this week, Comcast came out blasting Netflix saying, oh, Netflix is the one that's actually slowing stuff down.
Yeah.
It's Netflix's fault for actually making your Netflix slower. I don't know if I buy that, but you never know.
I've never had a problem with Netflix. And I know some people that can't even use it. I use it on Wi-Fi, and the router's 2 floors away. I don't have any problems.
I can only get 720p out of Netflix.
No, I'm getting 1080.
I have 50 megabits per second down. I would think that'd be enough for 1080p, which it is on Amazon. Sure. I have absolutely zero issues when I'm using Amazon Prime Instant Video.
I'll tell you, Amazon handles the video a lot better than Netflix does. I'll give them that. Unfortunately, there's not much on Amazon right now.
Every now and then. Luckily, most of the stuff that I've wanted to watch is on Amazon.
Wrong shot. There you go.
Like for example, I'll give you a good example. How I Met Your Mother. I just went through all 9 seasons of it.
All on Netflix?
Or at least 8 seasons.
All on Amazon.
Yeah, they're both on Amazon and they're both on Netflix.
Okay.
So I started out watching it on Netflix and it just wasn't a great experience. I switched it back over to Amazon. I hadn't looked back since. I watched 7.5 seasons on Amazon and the first 5 episodes on Netflix because I just wasn't getting a good experience on Netflix.
What kind of device?
It's not that Netflix is a bad service or anything. It's just for whatever reason I'm just not getting good service from them.
What kind of device are you accessing Netflix on?
My computer.
Okay, so it's not like the device is bad. Yeah, wired.
No.
Okay. So
Windows 7, 64-bit.
Yeah.
High-end computer, desktop.
So the bigger story here, I mean, this was from their earnings call. The bigger story here, and this is something that I've been questioning for many years, is why isn't Netflix on the cable company, on the cable boxes, on the DVRs? Why isn't it on the set-top box? You know, Verizon is offering on-demand programming. Comcast offers their own on-demand programming. Plus, they have their own little versions of Netflix. Wouldn't it be a lot better if they cut a deal with Netflix where Netflix was handling all the on-demand for these cable companies? Well, it seems like that may happen because they are announcing that they are going to be offered on some cable DVR systems in the U.S. soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is great. I'm really excited about this because one of the biggest problems that I face with the cable company is that they take stuff off all the time. With Verizon right now, annoying. I'll tell you something, John. With Verizon, I have not been able to access on-demand programming for almost a month and a half. It's all pixelated. The thing is falling apart.
Wow,
I can't watch
That's awful.
And, you know, I'm paying for the service. They have no idea why. They've come to the house like 3 times. They go, no, everything is solid. We'll swap out the cable box. I'm waiting for a cable box. But
I don't. That whole cable industry in terms of technology, it's just pure crap right now. There's so much more going on that is superior to what the cable industry is doing. I think it's great that Netflix is kind of making some inroads here. But here's my whole problem is that the agreements that Netflix has is that a lot of the content that they do have, they don't give for like 30 days. So even if something does come out, you're not going to see it for a whole month.
Okay, so you're talking about like after it's released on DVD?
After it's released on video or TV shows, it takes them a while to get new content. Like, for example, season 9 of How I Met Your Mother, neither Amazon or Netflix has that yet.
So, okay.
And it's been probably almost 5 months now since the last episode of season 9 aired.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a perfect example of that, right? I just finished up How I Met Your Mother. Jess is a huge fan of the show. We have season 9 on demand on CBS on our cable box, right? So It's 20-something episodes. So we just started watching it right before it ended. Because we wait till it builds up a couple, the season builds up, and then we like binge watch an entire season. We got to put it on. You know what it begins on? Not episode 1 of season 9, episode 7.
What?
Because they delete the content. They start deleting the older ones to make room for the newer ones. So it's essentially, I mean, it's useless unless you've been on, DVRing the entire season, which a lot of people do. But again,
you can't count on demand whatsoever.
It's crazy.
I've never seen any cable provider that you can count on for on-demand service for TV series. Comcast is just as awful, where they only offer maybe the previous 2 weeks of any given series, and that's it. Or even if it's been 2 or 3 months since a series ended or aired, the latest season, they'll only have maybe 2 or 3 episodes, and it'll be completely random episodes.
I'm curious.
It won't be like 1, 2, and 3 or 21, 22, and 23. It'll be 15, 12, and 22.
Yeah, I mean, currently there are a couple like Suddenlink and RCN. They have deals right now already with Netflix and TiVo. By the way, TiVo's still phenomenal. Unfortunately, nobody's using it anymore because it's, old stuff.
You really have to DVR this stuff if you actually want to watch it.
Hey John, my pick of the week is here. So continue. You go.
This is what I don't like about on-demand stuff is that it's just you can't trust it. You really do have to DVR it if you actually want to watch something these days, because you just can't trust on-demand to actually have the programming that you want. Whereas if you DVR it, you control what episodes you actually have control of. So that's why I'm saying that this whole on-demand stuff is just utter crap. And I wish, I don't understand why the cable industry is like that. I really don't. It makes absolutely no sense, especially in the sense where most people these days are into binge watching TV series. That's one of the reasons why Netflix is as big as it is because they really cater to those binge watching consumers. So if on-demand and cable companies were smart about it, that's what they would do. Well, they would offer everything so that you could binge watch it.
Here's the issue with that, okay? By the way, it was a false alarm. My pick of the week is not here yet.
No,
it was a false alarm. It was somebody else. It was a Chinese
You made me stall
guy.
for nothing.
Sorry, John. The problem, like, I personally have an issue with binge watching. I feel that as a marketing reason, right? Like House of Cards, for example. TV shows do well. You know, they'll put on a show for 22 episodes over a course of 6 months. Let's say whatever the course is. Every couple months, they'll have, you know, during sweeps week, they'll have a big teaser. During the breaks that they take, they'll have a big show. So they're constantly getting media attention. When House of Cards is released, they get the big attention. People binge watch for an entire day, and that's it. It's gone. So the constant hype for the show does not exist like the TV like regular traditional television.
Yeah, I agree, but like you said, it's not traditional television. Netflix doesn't have an actual channel on your TV per se where they're running programming 24/7 where they can insert ads for other show necessarily.
You know what else is interesting to me, John? That they have not brought up the concept of live programming yet.
Yeah,
on Netflix.
But I mean, that's a whole different issue where we're seeing how Aereo is actually being handled now for live programming, because that's a very touchy area.
Well, no.
You don't actually have agreements.
Netflix originals. That's what I'm saying. Just Netflix, they build their own channel. They just go into the TV. They go into, you know, becoming a network. They'll have a movie that they air.
I don't think they need that, though.
I don't know, but I don't think they need it. But you know, Hulu tried to do it, and they're kind of stalling on that front. But you know, you're seeing the success of the WWE Network and what they're able to do with this concept of on-demand programming and live programming, where it's working. You know, in a matter of couple months, they've generated 680,000 subscribers. I mean, that's insane if you think about what a small portion of the public watches professional wrestling. You're talking about 4 million people watch, a show of Raw or whatever it is. It's very small when you compare it to like Netflix, where they have 48 million subscribers, and they could create this traditional sense of a network where they have kind of sponsors to generate more revenue. I mean, I think a lot of brands would team up with Netflix if that's the case.
I don't know. I'm not sold on it.
I mean, you know what, though? Google's not doing it either, and they're trying something. Why don't you go into this one, John? Dish is reportedly launching an internet TV service this summer.
Yeah, according to Bloomberg, Dish is currently in talks with CBS, NBC Universal, and other major content providers to create a package it can sell to a younger audience, 18 to 34-year-olds, who aren't willing to pay cable prices for cable content. Sources familiar with the talks say that several larger networks are holding out until Dish can promise that at least 2 major networks will be on board. This is interesting because Dish is already having a deal with Disney where it already gets access to some of the ABC and Disney programming and even ESPN programming. So they kind of already have something like this, which is really cool. But they're just trying to make this, I think, a little bit more expanded.
Yeah, they're reportedly they've made strong progress in securing the rights to broadcast NBC channels, which would include, you know, USA, Bravo, E, all the NBC packages. What kind of pricing are we talking about? And do 18 to 34-year-olds really care about watching television? I'm telling you this, and I speak from experience. I'm an 18 to 34-year-old. I'm turning 30 in like 18 days, but I still watch television. A very small portion of my media consumption is television, and it's mostly wrestling or any kind of sports. If I'm watching like the Mets game or something. My brothers, on the other hand, do not watch television at all. They have cable, they have TVs. They don't watch anything. All they watch is Netflix, and they consume all the content on YouTube.
That's weird.
My brothers do not care to have ESPN or Bravo.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them, and I think this is something that's very interesting in the sense that I think the cable industry is going to have to change, and then in the next, 5-10 years, where these millennials are now, in their later 20s, early 30s, where they're actually not caring about this. They are the true cord cutters.
Well, they don't care about TV, the actual TV. They're fine watching a 14-inch, screen and watching all their stuff on that. Think about it, though. We're watching a 14-inch screen or 13-inch laptop, let's say a MacBook, and then we're watching a smaller version on that of YouTube videos. 640 by 360?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that what's really going to drive the change for cable companies is them having to reach out to millennials, I think.
And it's going to be tough for them. It's going to be really tough. Because
this is our generation, I think people want now.
Our generation, I mean, I don't know if we're considered millennials or Gen X or whatever we are, but we're that
Gen X, Gen Y, or something.
We're that in between, where for us, it's still traditional to get your cable bill and you pay for your cable and you watch your TV on your TV. My brothers don't give two craps about a cable bill. They don't want a cable bill. They don't think of it as a necessity.
They also grew up in a time where high-speed internet was almost always around.
It was accessible,
for their life.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I mean, this discussion.
I mean, both you and I are old enough to remember when internet wasn't fast at all. We both had those slow, 56K modems.
My first computer was a Tandy. I had a 2,400 pound modem. I believe I upgraded it to a 14.4 in the 90s, and that was like blazing fast. I had a 36.6. My IBM Aptiva came with a 36.6. I upgraded to 56K. I was with 56K for like a year, and I got DSL, and it was 64K. It was mind-blowing. 640K. 640K. It was 640 by 120, and this thing, I was downloading music and selling it in the school. I had a whole bootlegging business going.
I'm very interested to see what Dish does with this, and I think that could be something that a lot of cord cutters might even be interested in.
Yeah, I mean, listen, my cable bill is $300 a month. Almost.
That's crazy.
About $289. So if I could
anything over $150 is just way too much.
Yeah, but I also have 6 cable boxes and 3 DVRs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we have a cable,
and this is another thing where, in my opinion,
it's a waste.
The technology is out there. You should only need one DVR per household.
Yeah, well, Verizon,
one DVR should have enough tuners. The technology exists now where you're going to have 6 tuners in a freaking DVR.
Well, that's exactly what I was saying. Verizon now has a. I actually signed up for it, and I'm hoping that they send it to me. But they have this DVR. They replace all your cable boxes in the house to these tiny little boxes. Like, let's say it's this big, and it has one super server. I guess they call it the Verizon Media Server, and it has 6 tuners, and you can record up to 12 shows at one time.
It's similar to the Silicon Dust HD Home Run Prime.
Sure,
where you just have this little box set up. It's network wide, and you can access that on any compatible device.
Yeah, John, I'm paying $16.99 per DVR.
That's crazy.
I have 3 of those.
The technology exists now where you can have a device that has 6 tuners that you can access on practically any device now.
Yeah. And you know what? Is it necessary? Think about how much, and we should all think about this. I mean, all the viewers and all the people that are listening to this podcast. Think about how much time you spend watching cable. Maybe an hour or 2 a day. Is $300 a month or $200 a month worth it for something that you do only an hour or 2 a day?
Let me ask
Probably
you, how much money could you save if you had only one DVR and 2 or 3 cable boxes.
So let me do the math right now. I'm paying minus $40.
I'm guessing probably
$100.
Really, $100?
Well, think about it. If I had one DVR, right? Each DVR is
DVR.
Let's say $20 after taxes. 20, 40, 60. That's $40 there. Plus, let's cut all the cable boxes. That's another $12 a cable box that they charge. That's Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Do you hear that?
You're here. Like a little boy. You can't even sit still.
It's here. I'm going to go pick it up in a couple of seconds while you go into another story. But I would imagine if I cut the cable boxes and just did whatever I'm using currently, I'd probably save about $100.
That's just insane how much money you could save doing something like that. And I know that Comcast is working on some of those stuff right now. They have the X1 platform, and they also have the new X2 platform, which kind of is a cloud DVR, which I think makes even more sense. Just having a home DVR, you could do a cloud DVR where it just automatically shows up on your system. Instead of this on-demand stuff, you select everything that you want. Everything's automatically recorded from Comcast end. They already have all this stuff. It's no longer on demand. It's like a new version of on demand, I would say, in a sense where you can just pick and choose everything that's automatically DVR'd from Comcast end.
It wasn't here, John. It's not here.
Another false alarm.
Another false alarm. I think people know that I'm doing the show because one of my neighbors watches this show. I honestly, I swear to you, and I'm about to text him saying, "Is that you?" There's nobody out there, but I'm hearing things move outside. Like I hear the steps, I hear a banging, and then they just run off. Someone's screwing with me, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. Why don't you go into another story, John?
This is an interesting story. Americans are optimistic about technology, except for drones and robots.
Yeah, we don't want drones, and we don't want the Terminator to happen.
So according to a recent Pew Research survey, it found that 59% of Americans expected that technology would make our lives better, and only 30% worried that we'd be worse off because of scientific progress. And more than 8 in 10 even expect us to be growing replacement organs in labs within the next 50 years. However, when you dig a little deeper into specific technologies such as drones and robots, Americans are quite different. For instance, 63% think that we will be worse off if commercial or personal drones are given clearance to fly through the U.S. airspace.
Worse off in what sense? Like our security, our privacy? In what sense would you say that we're worse off?
Privacy, I think.
I guess. I'm trying to think about like the drones and like another way to use it and a way to use it for convenience and for...
People are weird too.
You know, one of my buddies has a drone, and he has a big one out in Long Island, and he will do some weird shit with it. I'll tell you. He does some weird stuff with that drone, and I'm not comfortable what he does.
Some of the stuff people do with drones is really cool. I mean, those little quadrocopter things, those can be very cool for like capturing some cool footage of certain events.
I guess it's cool. Yeah, I mean, the news uses it now, but...
Yeah.
As far as like delivery, like we saw the Amazon drone delivery thing.
Oh, that's way off.
That's totally way off. But there was another story this week, and we will go into an Amazon story, but there was a story this week that Amazon is getting into the delivery business. They're looking into, kind of competing with UPS and FedEx and having their own delivery system. So something like that, 10 years from now, possible. But as far as like robots go,
I don't think commercial drones are quite there yet because of the problem is that is the weight of packages.
You know what, John?
That's the biggest thing.
At NAB, there was a ton of drones. And I didn't understand why they were like all these drone companies there were like gigantic drones, John, like the size of my entire desk here, like huge drones. And I'm like, I don't understand what this has to do with broadcasting. What? And that I went up to the guy, I'm like, listen, this is really cool, but how does this work with broadcasting? And the guy said, for news. A lot of news organizations want to have these drones, so when, let's say, there's a car accident, they don't have to send the guy with the helicopter.
Yeah.
Think about how expensive it is to fuel that helicopter. And it's essentially stupid. It's useless. It's 30 seconds. The guy's there. The audio is awful. And he's talking about what's happening. You could send a drone out, get the shot, come back down.
It's a great concept. It's whether or not the technology is reliable and stable enough for that.
Yeah. Let's talk about this Amazon delivery story. I don't have it in the notes, but this is fascinating that they're getting into the game of having their own delivery system. And think about it. Think about any company. Think about if anybody were to pull this off, who would be able to pull it off? And think about the impact it would have on FedEx and UPS if Amazon was offering free delivery using their service with anything you buy on Amazon. Would you trust Amazon more to get your stuff delivered to you, or would you trust UPS, John?
Tough call. Because Amazon does a pretty dang good job.
They do a phenomenal job.
I mean, but then again, they are still relying on UPS to do that. So,
I actually have a theory on why Amazon has been so successful. Not because they have everything. It's because they are able to deliver at a very affordable rate. At the time, I mean, if you think about it, now everybody's doing like free delivery. But at the time when Amazon started doing free delivery or $1.99 delivery or $2.99 delivery, no, first of all, nobody was doing it. And two, it was very expensive still. I remember ordering a laptop from Best Buy online, and I paid like $25 in shipping.
Oh, yeah.
And this is obviously years ago, but and that's really why Amazon is so successful with this stuff, because they are able to get you. It's something that really helped them develop their business.
Yeah, absolutely. But now you have the opposite effect to where, because of the economy and cost in fuel has gotten so much higher, the shipping has gone the opposite direction where it's now getting to be more expensive, which is one of the reasons why Amazon is looking into having their own parcel shipping business.
I mean, they could work with USPS. And they've been doing it.
They already are, and it sucks.
I got delivery on Sunday, John, Easter.
I out of the times that I've had USPS to deliver stuff, probably 5 out of the 6 times it takes much longer, and it's so much. What I hate the most is that they'll give you a tracking number for when it goes through UPS. As soon as they hand it off to the Postal Service, you have no idea where the hell that package is.
Well, I mean, even with the Postal Service in general, the Postal Service does not really offer tracking. They just started offering you an estimated delivery time, but you really can't track USPS like you could with UPS or FedEx. And, that's a problem for a lot of people. But I think they could do something.
I had USPS tracking save my butt the other day because I had a package stuck and it was stuck in the sorting facility. And if it didn't have tracking where I could actually see that it was stuck in the same location over and over again, I wouldn't have had any idea where it was or how to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it would have just been stuck in that machine, that sorting machine, forever until somebody did maintenance on it.
Yeah, you know what the other problem I have with USPS, and then we'll move on to the next story, is that if you look at the shipping address on the shipping label, it's not your house. It's the post office, the main post office that's sorting this stuff out. All my stuff has my post office address and not mine. And there's been plenty of times that I've looked at the address, I'm like, oh no, this isn't mine, and I put it back outside. And then Jessica comes in and is like, no, it's me. It's mine. I ordered it. So, I don't know. Go into the next story, John.
Do you want to talk about this Amazon Prime Pantry service?
I do, actually. I do.
Go for it.
So,
I don't care.
You don't care for it?
Nope.
Well, it would have been nice if I had my notes open while we're doing this. But pretty much Amazon is trying to get into the... They've been trying to do this for a while, I remember. I mean, I order a lot of my stuff like that they're selling on Amazon Pantry, like toiletries and cleaning supplies and all that stuff. I always order it through Amazon because it actually comes out a little bit cheaper. And I don't have to go to the store.
You're one of those people that do that, though.
I am, yeah. Like, I order all my cleaning supplies on there, and a couple months ago, they started offering coupons.
You're
for
so
stuff.
weird.
But you could also do a
You're
subscription.
the only person I know that orders that kind of stuff on Amazon.
John, I order my razors on Amazon, and I have it on a subscription because I don't shave that often, but I have it on a subscription where they mail it to me every 3 months. I get a pack of 12 razors, and it's actually $2 cheaper than the store. I order, paper towels, everything, all my cleaning supplies, everything I order on Amazon. So they're trying to get into the food business. So right now, there's selection on Amazon Pantry, and if you go to Amazon Pantry, you could check it out. But it's pretty limited. They don't have a lot of stuff. They have boxed cereal. They have potato chips, cookies. Prices are pretty competitive. Not the best, but not awful. They have coupons. They have circulars. Circulars are gonna begin late. Well, they did begin some of their business late last year, but they're gonna have circulars. They're gonna have specials. They're gonna pretty much conduct it as if it's a Costco or a Walmart. This is tremendous.
But it's not.
It's not. It's going to get there, though, because remember...
It's nothing like Costco.
No, it's a very small...
This is a stupid article because it says, now the retailer is going one step further, taking on Costco and Walmart. It's nothing like Costco or Walmart. You don't... It's none of the products that they're selling is in bulk.
No, it's not in bulk.
Costco is for buying in bulk. So it is absolutely nothing like Costco.
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't buy... You don't have to buy in bulk at Costco.
Majority of stuff is in bulk.
You know what's interesting? The Costco here, it's very small, the percentage of stuff they have in bulk. Interesting. So you could pretty much Cascade, all-in-one dishwashing detergent. It's $10 plus a 50% off coupon.
So weird.
By the way...
I'm telling you, you're the only person I know that buys on Amazon.
I do. By the way,
I don't know anybody else.
Everything is sold out. Everything I'm clicking on is sold out right now. Your bandwidth just went to hell.
I have no idea why.
All right, it's all right. We'll deal with it. So they're doing a lot of this.
Should be back now, though.
It's getting back. They're trying to compete with them, and here's how they're able to compete. Their shipping costs: $45 worth of items, 45 pounds worth of items for a $6 fee for delivery. That's actually that's on top of you buying it. Yeah, so it's $6 shipping.
No, on top of ship.
Hey, John, I know you're having some bandwidth issues here, so why don't we wrap it up? I'm going to talk about my pick of the week. I don't know if you have one, but I definitely have one here. And we'll wrap it up. Unfortunately, my pick that I had initially chosen for today didn't show up, so I have to do next week's pick today. And this is my pick here. I don't know if you see this, John. I don't know if you guys could see this.
I'm not watching, so.
John doesn't have video, but this is my pick of the week, and I'm curious if the chat room knows what this is.
I can pretend.
You can pretend. So, what do you think I'm holding up, John? What is this that I'm holding up?
Is it rectangular or squarish?
It is rectangular or squarish, yes.
Do you insert it somewhere?
You do insert it somewhere.
Yeah, I know what it is.
So this thing saved my butt last week. This is the OWC Data Doubler. And I got this about 3.5 years ago, sat in the box. I never looked at it again. I totally forgot that I had it. And what this does is it takes your super drive, your DVD drive on your MacBook, and it replaces it with a SATA drive. So you can pop in another hard drive, you can put an SSD in there, whatever you want to do. And my cable, my SATA cable for the MacBook totally died. So I had to order a new one. But in the meantime, I popped this thing in. I took my DVD drive out. I put this thing in, popped the hard drive into it, mounted it. It was pretty easy. It's not very difficult. You could go to ifixit.com and kind of, see what screws you need to remove to replace this DVD drive. And it works phenomenal. Now, I took it out because I obviously got my hard drive, and I actually like that it's a little bit lighter now because I don't have a DVD drive in here. But this thing is great. You can get it on Amazon. It's $35. If you want to add a secondary hard drive, a lot of people have controller issues. So the controller goes bad on their MacBooks, on their logic board, and they have to replace the logic board. If you're not using a DVD drive, you could just swap it out for this, and it kind of saves you a couple $100 right there. secondary hard drive, if you have an SSD, like I have a 256 SSD in here, it's not enough for a lot of the stuff that I have. So I'm going to put in a traditional hard drive, put this thing in, and I'm going to get extra storage. So that's my pick. The OWC Data Doubler just replaces the optical drive to SATA. It's a great little device here. So that's my pick of the week, John.
Cool.
What's yours? While you melt away.
I'm not even going to do it if my video is crap.
All right. So we'll skip your pick of the week this week. Go to our website, guys. We're going to end the show a little bit early because John is having some Skype issues. You go to our website, gfknetwork.com. You can subscribe to our podcast. We're on iTunes. We're everywhere podcasts are available. We have our audio and video up on there. I want to remind everybody we have a Patreon campaign happening for What the Tech. If you like this show or any show on the network, support that show because, it helps us out all around. You go to patreon.com/whatthetech. $1 goes a long way. Even if you want to donate a little less than $1, a quarter a show, whatever you want to give, we accept. And I think we have like $300 right now in our Patreon. Huge help. I want to thank everybody doing that. Also, use our Amazon affiliate link. It is great because I just ordered a monitor because my monitor went bad. And guess what? You guys got it for me by just shopping on Amazon. You don't have to donate anything. It's not a lot of extra work. All you do, click on our Amazon banner on our website, or you go to gfk.co/Amazon, bookmark it, and whenever you buy something on Amazon, we get a tiny little credit from that sale. It really helps us out, and I know people have been doing it for a while. So thank you for buying your stuff on Amazon using our link. We'll see you all next week, guys. Take care.